Karibu kwa Matatu this very fantastic Friday. Tuko hapa na tutasema kitu. Let me ask you, do you think the violence against women in Kenya may reduce ama iko on the rise?
Most of the women I work with, most of my friends are beaten by their husbands, but they decide to keep quiet about it. They cannot talk about it because they feel that it's demeaning.
A man who batters his wife is a coward. If you want to fight, why don't you go find somebody who is your matchmaker and then you fight with him? And then, okay, on the issue of violence about women, it will take a very long time for it to come to an end because traditionally the men used to beat the women. I remember in the early 80s, if you were battered, even if a policeman was passing by and he hears somebody anapiga nduru, he will just pass away and say, but that is a domestic quarrel, we cannot get into it. When I was young, I used to see my dad, beating my mom. I was not even happy about it. I remember, in fact, I even wanted to fight my dad, and we were never in good terms. When I even passed my primary education, I was called to Pangani Girls. He never paid for my fee.
In my village, you cannot go to the elders and say that I was beaten up by my husband. That is nonsense to them. You cannot say such a thing. It is natural to us that you're beaten. Okay, not here in Nairobi, but in the village, it is okay. You cannot tell somebody that I was beaten up. It's just okay with the women. My grandfather, my grandmother, I have 9 grandmothers. So,
Hi. My goodness, you're blessed. Wow.
So when you see one of them being beaten, they just cry. You see my grandfather running around with maybe a banga or a stick. They're beaten up and they keep quiet. In the evening they just cook for him and that's it. She's okay.
Yeah, at their age, how can he be running around with a panga?
They do.
They do that.
In fact, with the rungu, you were beaten with the rungu.
And nobody can come between the person beating you and the wife.
Beating up women, I think it's not a good thing. But even us, okay, you find ourselves that we are saying we should not beat up our wives, but you get a wife beating up men, and then it's okay. You cannot just go there outside and say,
men can't scream. Men up on a base. Neighbors cannot hear you.
Yeah, that's really okay. I had a girlfriend, but it came a day that he just knew that I was playing her. He just came up to the sitting room. I was just sitting. Alianza vita. Bikombe saani. That's why I say both of us should be equal.
I think there should be an international day for men battering so that all the women can beat up all the men so that they feel the way women feel. Imagine you are an adult. Sincerely, you are an adult and somebody is beating you up. How would you feel?
In fact, when it comes to big issues, men don't even beat the women. They beat the women on very, very small issues. Men tend to be always hot-tempered. Maybe at his place of work, he had a problem or he had a quarrel with the boss or maybe a colleague. He comes and vents the anger on his wife because this woman is defenseless.
I have my cousin, whoever is a drunk man. So in every time that he go out and he wants to come back to the house, so whatever wife yake akijua tu ameenda kulewa, what he do is anafunga vilago zake na watoto, then they run away from their house. So I don't find it as a good issue because anajua tu when my husband is out, when he's coming back, you have to beat me, you have to throw me away with my children. So even they make the children suffer also.
What do you think are the reasons men beat their wives?
If you remember that your dad used to batter, you want to see it, what do you want, what do I mean? Hata wewe unataka kuona ya kwamba you're doing the same thing. It happens.
Women want to be attended to. At times men forget that they should attend to a woman. So at times you do something for your man to notice you. For instance, you wash his clothes every day. He doesn't appreciate. Yeah, you should appreciate if somebody does a good thing to you. So the men never appreciate. They just feel it is our duty to cook, wash, I don't know, blah blah blah, look after the children for them. So at times this lady will even that day she decide she's not going to cook, at least just to get the attention of that man.
Hii abusive relationship hiyo wanzanga watu wakidate ama wakimarry?
After people have married, mostly But a boyfriend who batters a girlfriend, I don't see the reason why that girlfriend can put up with that man. He's not the only fish in the sea.
You see, there are some women who are there. They believe that I'm supposed to be battered. As a woman, there is that Stockholm syndrome that I'm a captive in this home. Even if I go somewhere else, sitapata mwingine mwenye atanichapa. So I'm there. Akinichapa left, I give him the right side also to anichapa.
Kuna watu wanasema yani beating up a woman is a form of love. Do you agree with these guys?
In olden days, if I want to get married, a man could even bring 20, 50 cows to my parents. And then it feels like now he owns me. Sasa unaona hiyo kitambo pia ilikuwa ni those 2 cows. Nilitoa ng'ombe ngapi kwenyu? You see? Now my parents when I'm being battered, wanafikiria zile ng'ombe zililetwa kwe. So they feel now if she comes back to the family,
ng'ombe zinarudi.
Ng'ombe zitarudi. I don't have the ng'ombes right now. So nikikuja na niambia my daughter, you will just have to vumilia cause that is how it is.
In Taifa's society, they believe that beating a woman is a form of love. So most of them, they do that. They beat a woman that ndio muoneshe I love you, you belong to me, so I have to beat you to know that you're mine.
When does it become abusive?
Maybe for it to develop to physical, it normally starts from emotional abuse. Maybe he's demeaning you, putting down your self-esteem. He tells you now, do you think you're beautiful? I think that's how it starts. Then slowly, a slap here. You're like, he loves me. He was angered, so maybe he will not beat me again. Another time, a blow there. Sooner than you know, there's a lot of fighting. So if I feel now, yes, I'm the man, I married her, so I should keep this home in order. No matter what she does, no dialogue, let's just get the rungu out. With that mentality, we'll not be able to solve this problem.
Why do ladies sit around? Anyone wanachapa, they sit around and they come, as in hata maybe umefukuzwa umechapa, they always come back.
Some ladies give an excuse of I want to keep my family together because of the kids, and maybe the relatives come in and they talk together. That's the main excuse they use. I want to be there because of the kids and I want to keep my family together even though they're hurting.
They're always forgiving. You beat her today, it stays sometimes. After all, he's my husband, and then she stays and on, and then this beating becomes even more violent.
I want us to watch a short clip on the same, alafu tutaendelea na mada.
Dhuluma kwa wanawake ina njia nyingi na aina nyingi. Moja ni kuchapa mwanamke, kumuumiza mwili, mwingine pia kiakili. Kwa unamtukana mambo ya kumuita kama mjinga, wewe ni sijui unakaaje. Kiakili pia hiyo ni aina moja, na pia ubakaji. Ama pia kutumia vitu vya kuingiza aidha chupa ama vijiti ama vitambaa kumuingiza katika sehemu ya kiasiri, hiyo pia ni njia nyingine. Watu wanaogopa kwa sababu ya kwanza ni mambo na polisi. Anaona akimsaidia, akimpeleka hospitali atambua kuja kuwe shahidi kwamba alichapwa ama nini. Lakini muhimu kwanza ni hospitali, alafu haya mambo mengine yanafuatia. Kama jamii tunafaa kukaa chini kuzungumza. Ndio ninajua ni ngumu kuingilia kati ya bibi na bwana, lakini kuna wakati mwingine inafika pahali jamii inafaa kuingilia na kuingilia kati, kwa sababu wamama wengi wanajiona hawana sauti ili ya kuongea ati mimi sitaki kupigwa tena, nimechoka na kupigwa ama nataka tuachane. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu ya ukame, ukosefu wa pesa. Anaona nikiachana na huyu mume, heri nikae na yeye awe akinichapa kila siku kuliko niende nje nikatabike na watoto. Ya mashirika yako mengi yale yanasaidia wamama waliodhulumiwa, na kuna ya kiserikali na yasiyo ya kiserikali. Kwa mfano Kibira Olympic, MSF inashughulika sana na wamama ambao wamedhulumiwa kijinsia kwa kuwapa matibabu na kuwapa ushauri. Huduma hizi zote wanatoa zikiwa ni bure, hawalipishi chochote.
All right, so what's your reaction to vile madam amesema?
The measures they are taking, they are not the preventative, they are like the curative measures. Once one has been abused, that's when they go to them. So we should be looking at now the preventative measures.
From the cases we've had in our office, I work in a law firm, is that there was a woman who was beaten up by the husband. She was chased away. Then that night, they had a child who was mentally challenged, a girl who was in standard 3. That girl was raped by the dad, but it was in a slum, so the other neighbor could hear. So this neighbor went to the police and told the police what had happened. This man was arrested, the child was taken to a hospital, and it was true that she was raped. So now it was a court case. So the case went on, but eventually this man bribed the police and bribed the witness, and the witness refused to go to court, and the police also lost the file and all that. Now the woman was left like that, and this child was left like that, and it didn't help. So what I would say is that the police should be educated on issues like this.
In olden days, if I want to get married, a man could even bring 20, 50 cows to my parents, and then it feels like now he owns me. And in fact, even in this setup now, my husband, if he wants to marry me, he'll go and negotiate with my parents how much money that should be paid for me to go and live with him. So they'll negotiate. My dad will start telling me, I don't know, nilimsomesha na pesa fulani, I don't know how maintenance, blah blah blah. And then this man say, so I was not born, I was not maintained. Now when you come to his home at a field, he owns you. You are his property because he bought you.
Maybe what I can add maybe is we have something, a good structure in the gender-based violence centers where women will be going to take their grievances, they air out their issues, and maybe they will be attended to. Yeah.
And so, Sasa, solutions. What's the way forward?
The government should be very strict on beating up women, violence, and if a case like that can go to the court should not, hawafai kuchukulia mpango wa pili, plan B.
Okay, for example, if you go to a police station to report a crime, if it's a crime for stealing and all that, you'll find that everyone is at the reception. You say what the problem is, they write it down and all that. There's a time I went with a friend of mine who was raped. So when we reached there, the police was like, unataka nini hapa? Ati nimekuja kureport a rape case. Police akamuuliza ati nani alikurepe? Surely she didn't know who did that. And you know there are people there. And now the police are all ears, they want to listen to this story, and all these other people are also here listening to the woman. Then the police was like, alikushika wapi? Alikurarua nguo? Surely, and you are at the reception.
Yeah.
So if women go through that, nobody will go to report that. They should put a department in the police station whereby if there's a rape case or a wife battering case, you're taken to another office, a police woman is taken there to talk with you, you report the case there, instead of making you report it as other crimes in front of everyone.
Ukijua tu ile wada nasemanga tu, hapo next ni vita, unajisort. Identify safe areas around the house, especially if you are, kama husband yako ni mnono sana, unaweza ingia chini ya meza, unajua hizi toshia hapo. So anataka toka hapo nikuchape, unakaa tu hapo because hapo haizi fika. Come up with a code word so that your neighbors ama relatives hapo karibu wanaweza jua ukimention such words ni kubaya. Yeah. But just like they've said, I mean it's a very coward. Shame on you men. If you're watching this show and you beat up your, how pick on someone your own size, like me, JB. Fight with me here in the Matatu with your opinions. Yeah, don't beat up your wife. How now? But your opinion now, tuko hapa kwa Matatu, we are going to the streets tuchukue maoni yao, then we'll be right back.
Tuseme kitu fulani unakipenda, ni kama chakula, unapenda kitu fulani, alafu upate ule uzuri wenyewe unapata ni mtu mwingine tena ameingia kule, unajua unaweza mchapa.
Sio poa kuchapa bibi yako kila wakati.
Kila mtu sasa ako na mali ya aoni mtu mkubwa awapeani heshima ile inafaa kupeano.
Hata mimi nilishawahi kusika na ndoa, na jambo kama hiyo ilifanya nivunje ndoa.
So the thing of alcoholism, you find that somebody has gone taken alcohol, then you bring fight in the house, start fighting.
Kajamani kafupi ni mkonda na mama ni mkubwa, ana believe anaweza chapa huu jamaa, so hiyo pia inaweza kuwa ni kosa.
Na hiyo ni maoni ya watu kwa street. You're going for a short break. Yeah, watu hapa wamekasirika, all the ladies wanasema we're going to the gym. Mtatuchapa mpaka saa ngapi? So we are going for the gym for like 5 minutes, then we'll be right back on Matatu.